WCBI News at 10 starts now.
A local tourism tax is stirring controversy in Jackson. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Scott Martin. It's just the latest twist in the saga of Lowndes County's 2% restaurant tax. Both the county and the city of Columbus sent proposals to the legislature stating that the 2% tax would be collected from any restaurant that served food and beverages. Today, House members Jeff Smith and Gary Chisholm want to change that to collect the tax from establishments that make $325,000 annually. Representative Chisholm says that floor has been in place since 1986. The goal, he says, is to ensure that places that make less money don't have to pay the restaurant tax.
We know you're raising the taxes on any restaurant that has gross sales less than $325,000. We're at loggerheads. The bill's going to die. The restaurant tax is going to die.
We spoke with Senator Chuck Younger, who favors the resolution sent in by the local boards. He says that Representatives Chisholm and Smith are going against what the city and county wants. If the tax doesn't pass, Senator Younger said, quote, "It'll be blood on their hands." Younger says that's a loss of about $2 million for the CVB. A decision has to be made by tomorrow. And staying there at the Capitol, the legislative session is winding down, and another big ticket item got checked off the to-do list today. Lawmakers are updating the state's Medicaid program that ensures 1 in 4 Mississippians. Courtney Ann Jackson explains what changes are coming to Medicaid.
The Medicaid tech bill came down to the wire from Monday night's deadline.
The conferees have all 6 signed and filed last night at about 5 minutes till 8 o'clock.
Here's the purpose of that tech bill. It lays out who qualifies for Medicaid and what they're offered as a beneficiary. This year, lawmakers got the chance to go through the details with a fine-toothed comb.
We're trying to get to where improved health outcomes, but also looking at the costs and retaining legislative authority over the program.
Here are some of the changes that will now be included. One thing they agreed to do is eliminate the limits on doctor visits and prescription counts. Current law caps the doctor visits at 12.
Creates an incentive for beneficiaries to go to the emergency room, which is very cost prohibitive or is expensive. And every healthcare person you talk to said that was not in the best interest of creating good health outcomes.
There's also the addition of opioid and other drug addiction treatment coverage. Rural hospitals may also get a financial boost under the new rules.
We enrich the hospital reimbursement formula pretty substantially, especially to rural hospitals in Mississippi who are just tottering on the brink of bankruptcy. I mean, that's a fact. So it's a good bill.
Part of the earlier debate focused on control over the managed care program. Right now, the state pays insurance companies to administer the Medicaid program. The Hospital Association wanted providers to have a shot at the $3 billion contract. Ultimately, that part of the program will not change. The bill now goes to Governor Bryant for consideration.
A federal lawsuit is trying to help ex-convicts in Mississippi restore their voting rights. The Southern Poverty Law Center filed the suit today, saying the system is, quote, harsh, punitive, and unforgiving. In recent years, the number of crimes that could cost one their voting rights has more than doubled. For an ex-con to get their voting rights back, 2/3 of the legislature would have to give permission along with the governor, something that's only happened 14 times in the last 5 years. Most states already have some form of automatic voting rights restoration. Well, time now to get a first look at our forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. And Keith, a little bit of rain moving in for the middle of the week.
Indeed, rain is in the forecast. Today, though, we squeezed in a little bit more sunshine. This is our Alpha Insurance time lapse from downtown Columbus. Some sun, some clouds, no rain. We did warm up into the upper 60s and low and mid 70s. Currently, no rain on our live Doppler radar. Back to the west, though, you can see it. It's raining there in Arkansas. That goes down into Texas. It's a slow-moving system. It will be coming our way. We're pretty warm tomorrow on ahead of it. Mid to upper 70s. Rain chances possible in the morning, especially across the northwest. But over the next 2 days, maybe 1 to 4 inches of rain. Full forecast in just a few minutes.
Lily Ledbetter, the woman known for taking a stand and demanding equal pay in the workforce, spoke to hundreds of students at Mississippi State today. She was the featured speaker for this year's Leo W. Seal Jr. Distinguished Speakers Series at MSU. Our Quentin Smith spoke with Ledbetter and joins us live in the studio with more on her message she shared today.
Yes, Scott, after the trials and tribulations Ledbetter has been through, she takes pride in sharing her story to women and minorities all over. In her sex discrimination lawsuit, she went to court against the company she used to work for, demanding equal pay. Now looking back 20 years since her verdict, Ledbetter says she's happy to see women and minorities finally getting the pay they deserve, but also says it's a never-ending battle that she'll continue to fight.
So many people have the same story.
As she shares her message with hundreds of students at Mississippi State University, Lily Ledbetter says her goal is to reach at least one person and help prevent them from going through the same struggles she went through with work discrimination.
It's an American right to get equal pay for equal work.
The year is 1979, and Ledbetter is just starting as an employee at Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. She worked there for nearly 2 decades, thinking everything was going smoothly and that she was being treated fairly. But then came a bombshell.
Someone gave me a tip because when I went to work for Goodyear, the HR department told me if I ever discussed my pay, I wouldn't have a job. So no one ever discussed their pay.
The Alabama native would come to find out that she was making 40% less than her male counterparts.
How embarrassed. I didn't know where the note came from. I didn't know where the information came from. And are these people on the floor where I'm working this 12-hour shift, are they laughing behind my back? Who knows it? How far has this rumor or this story gone? I had no idea.
But instead of quitting and giving up, Ledbetter filed a lawsuit fighting for equal pay. Ledbetter went to court and initially won her case and was awarded $3.8 million. But she says she never saw that amount.
They said we find in a plaintiff's favor $3.8 million. But in my case, I was only entitled to $300,000.
However, that ruling was overturned. The court voted that Ledbetter was not entitled to compensation because she did not file her lawsuit within the required statute of limitations. But that wouldn't stop Ledbetter. In 2007, the case went to the Supreme Court. And then in 2009, the U.S. Congress passed the Lily Ledbetter Fair Pay Restoration Act, a law that expanded the statute of limitations for filing an equal pay lawsuit. Former President Barack Obama signed the legislation in January of 2009. It was one of the first pieces of legislation that Obama signed into law.
Low 60s tonight, the clouds filling back in. We stay breezy, but we will be dry tonight. There's your forecast lows. Rain's on the way. The full forecast is next.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
I hope you're doing well on our Tuesday evening. You can see our Alpha Insurance time lapse from downtown Tupelo. Some sunshine, some friendly clouds out there today. It was breezy. We had some wind gusts up to about 25 miles per hour. The Easter Bunny will be happy with the forecast for this upcoming Easter weekend. Good Friday, 67 degrees, low 70s Saturday. Also Sunday too. Now there will be a front that will try to squeeze on into North Mississippi. That could give us some additional clouds and a few showers Easter Sunday. We'll just see how it all plays out, but it should not be a washout. Thursday afternoon at Kroger in Starkville, we are programming weather radios there 4 to 6. Now it's going to be wet Wednesday into Thursday. Hopefully we can get a lot of that rain out of here by 4 o'clock for that event in Starkville. But we do envision a chance for 1 to 4 inches of rain. There are some flood watches in effect, all because of that. A big mass of rain and storms coming our way and a cold front. There you have it, folks. 1 to 4 inches of rain still possible across our region as we go throughout the next 2 days here. Cannot rule out an isolated tornado in the region tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. The threat on that pretty low. Not really too concerned about it. We'll watch it. If we do see any severe weather, probably some isolated high wind gusts and some very heavy rainfall. That's the way it's looking for tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and into early Thursday morning. So, okay, there's our current situation on that. Let me show you the thunderstorm energy. At this point, we envision tomorrow afternoon the most unstable air to be just off to our southwest. Now, some of that energy will be still around tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. So, yes, there is a small chance for some severe weather in here, even into early Thursday morning. So we cannot discount it. But the majority of the most unstable air should stay just off to our southwest. We'll watch it and see how it all evolves. Tomorrow morning, the better rain chance back to the northwest of the Natchez Trace Parkway as we get into the afternoon. Scattered showers and storms possible tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. Notice that right there, some heavier rain and some storms. and then some of that could linger back into Thursday as well. So here's our planner for tomorrow, mid-60s at 8 o'clock. Not a lot of rain for the morning commute, but do bring the umbrellas and your jackets just to be on the safe side. But it's going to be a warm day. Temperatures into the mid to upper 70s around here. Warmer south, cooler north with those rain chances coming on in from the northwest. Here's our 7-day. Pretty good chance of rain tomorrow night, and Thursday. As I mentioned earlier, pretty nice for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we'll just see about Sunday into early next week with those low-end rain chances. Scott?
A trailblazer in the civil rights movement passes away this week. I'm Victoria Bailey, and we take a look at the landmark Supreme Court case ruling her legacy left behind.
Welcome back, everyone. The woman who blazed the trail of equality in public school education has died. This Sunday, Linda Brown Thompson passed away in her hometown of Topeka, Kansas. Well, in 1954, an African-American family living in Kansas made the decision to get their little girl, Linda Brown, into an all-white school closer to home. It would be a fight, and little did they know it, it would be a decision that would have lasting effects on the education system for decades to come. Victoria Bailey has more.
The country says goodbye to civil rights trailblazer Linda Brown. Many people know Brown's name from the Supreme Court case, but she was only a small child when she helped integrate America's school system.
Integration came about because we wanted the same things.
Wanting the same things is exactly what led to the historic landmark case, Brown versus the Board of Education. In 1954, the Brown family took up the fight for equal education by attempting to enroll Linda at an all-white elementary school. But during that time, the Plessy versus Ferguson Supreme Court ruling was the law of the land, separate but equal. Local historian Rufus Ward says that's where Brown versus the Board of Education ruling comes in.
They wanted to use that case because they wanted to show that separate but equal inherently was unequal. And that's what Brown did. That turned that upside down and said, wait a minute. Nothing that's separate can ever be equal.
Laverne Leach was among the first black students to enroll at the Mississippi University for Women. She says she remembers that historic ruling, but it didn't change much in the Magnolia State, let alone the Friendly City.
In 1954, right here in Columbus, Lehigh was built, and so was Hunt the same year. But Lehigh was much larger than Hunt, but Hunt had more students. Lehigh received $145 for each one of their students, whereas Hunt received 11. So you talk about separate but equal, no way.
And the courts agreed, allowing another education equality case to move forward.
It was vague as to how to enforce it and what it meant. And 3 years later, they had to come back with another Supreme Court case that people call Brown 2 that said that integration should proceed with all deliberate speed.
Fast forward to 2018 and beyond. Leach says Brown's legacy will always have a place in the U.S. education system.
She'll always be remembered because she took the first step.
Brown was 76 years old. Well, coming up next, Ole Miss baseball, and we'll have more NIT coverage from the Big Apple coming up next in sports.
CBI Sports with Tom Ebel. WCBI Sports coverage of the men's NIT tournament is brought to you by OCH Regional Medical Center, Advanced Medicine, Compassionate Care, Starkville Ford Lincoln, and visit Columbus, the city that has it all.
The Bulldogs looking to finish the season with some momentum heading into next year. MSU in the Big Apple looking to punch its ticket to the NIT championship, and it just hasn't been good from the get-go. Penn State up now. This was about 2 minutes ago. Now it is 71-50 Penn State. The Nittany Lions came out swinging to start. I think it was 36-11 in the first half. It's been a home crowd for Penn State in New York. It's about a 4-hour drive from Penn State to the Big Apple. So Mississippi State on a de facto road game struggling. We'll have highlights and recap from the Big Apple coming up tomorrow morning on WCBI Sunrise. Battle of top 15 teams from the state of Mississippi. Ole Miss taking on its in-state rivals from Hattiesburg. To Swayze Field we go. This one was a barn burner. 14 Southern Miss taking on 4 Ole Miss. Hunter Slater, his second bomb of the game. Sayonara, that one to deep right center field. That would make it 5-0 Southern Miss in the top of the third. But here come the Rebels, down 5-4. Not anymore. Thomas Dillard, oh man, second pitch he saw, that one was absolutely gone from the click of the bat. Rebels take the lead 7-5 thanks to the 3-run jack from Dillard. And then to finish it off, 2 runners on for Southern Miss. It's Slater again. Deep, but Will Golson says, nope, not today. New Hope grad shuts the door on the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Rebels come back from being down 5-0 to win 7-6. Rebels are now 23-3 on the season. Not so much luck for Mississippi State in the midweek. Bad loss for the Bulldogs as they fall to Nicholls State 7-4. There's nothing going offensively for the Bulldogs on the road. Mississippi State now 13-13 on the season. Will look to rebound with this weekend's SEC series. To high school baseball, 3A state champ Morville Troopers taking on Pontotoc. Good start for the Troop, up 1-0. Wes Harrington is going to add to that. Single brings in another run, so it's a 2-0 lead for the Troop. Bottom second, Hammer Franks, great name, named Hammer for a reason. That shot makes it 3-0 Sayonara baseball. Then to the fourth, Warriors getting on the board. Hayden Harris, nobody watching as he steals home. Got to keep a head on a swivel, but back comes Morville. Jacob Hughes, bye-bye. Solo shot makes it 4-2. But in the fifth, Harris at the plate. Hard grounder, 1 runner scores. That would tie the ball game. Warriors not going anywhere in the middle of the fifth. But in the bottom of the fifth, Troopers are defending state champs for a reason. Bases loaded. That is a grand salami for Hughes to seal the deal. Troopers go on to win 10-4. Staying in Morville, speaking of state champs, the defending 3A Lady Morville Troopers looking to defend their title in 4A, hosting Itawamba AHS. Home team used the bunt. Anna Lee Basham gets on, and then Kara Hayes, another bunt single, 2 on. So Morville working the bunt game. Then Abby McDonald, she's like, no more bunts here. Gets one right up the middle. That's going to bring home some runners. That would bring in 2 runs for Morville, so they take the early lead. Then 0-0, Peyton Gillantine. She's going to loft one to left, deep enough for a sack fly. That would bring in the extra run here to make it 3-0 Troop. And then adding 1 more to the plate for Morville. Shelby Phillips, wild pitch, brings home the 4th runner. Morville wins in a run rule, 13-0. Some sad news as we finish tonight's sportscast. Hebron Christian head basketball coach Bruce Franks passed away just tonight. He died at the age of 62. Coach Franks had the pleasure to meet last May, did a story as he was battling leukemia. He won more than 1,000 games of his career coaching in North Mississippi. Lost a good one today. Lost a really good man, one of the most down-to-earth people I've ever met, one of the best person I ever met. Keep your thoughts and prayers for his family and his wife, Linda. Coach Franks passes away at the age of 62.
So 1,400 would be a pretty good milestone.
Probably not a lot of rain around the region in the morning, but definitely be prepared for some showers and storms during our Wednesday, especially tomorrow night and Thursday morning. Could be pretty wet around here. But that system gets out just in time for the holiday weekend. Many folks will be off on Friday, and it should be pretty nice here Friday and Saturday.
It'll be a nice weekend for everybody to get out and enjoy, soak up those 70s.
And it won't be as breezy. It's been pretty breezy around here of late. So sunshine, no breeze, not bad.
Good deal. All right. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.